Hey everybody, welcome back to the 80 Slashers YouTube channel. And in this video, we're going to continue on from last week's video and finish off taking a look at my complete physical media collection of 80 slashers. In the last video, we discussed. I said we were going to go through these in chronological order. So, from first 80 slasher released all the way up um, through the last 80 slasher release. So in that video, we took a look at the ones in my collection from between 1980 and 1983. And in today's video, we're going to be starting off 1984 and go way through until 1989. So yeah, as you can see, first up we have is Friday the 13th, the final chapter, the fourth film in the franchise. And for this particular film, I have three versions. First one I had was on Blu-ray was this this two pack, 3 and 4. So yeah, and then I bought this Blu-ray, which basically comes from this set. I'll show this as we go through it. But yeah, so this is just one I made myself. Kind of a VHS looking feel, kind of, I guess, because then I have the VHS as well. So yeah, so Friday the 13th, obviously I don't have to say much about this. This is yeah, this is one of the best in the whole genre, in my opinion, of course. Yeah, so that's the first one up. So let's take a look at the next one. All right, so up next, we have The Initiation. Obviously 1984 still. Um, yeah, this is a pretty good one. It's pretty fun. It has a cool setting. This is one of the few that takes place in a mall. Um, the first half is more of a sorority style setting, but then it kind of the last half transitions and it takes place in a mall, which is really cool. There's really good story, good mystery, good twist at the end, like really good twist at the end. I really like the reveal in this one. It works really well, well written, and yeah, just a good mystery throughout. This is a fantastic Arrow package, or so yeah, definitely a good one. All right, next up we have Splatter University. Now this is your typical very, very low budget, cheesy, so bad it's good style of slasher. Definitely not for everybody. Um, Probably most people would watch this and just think this is terrible, trashy. And it is. It's not a good film by any means, but it's fun. It's if you're into this style of slasher, it's just a fun. It's one of these fun. Not it's not scary. You're laughing more than anything at this. But the end. This film has an ending that doesn't happen often in slashers. So I give it extra points because just the way they ended this film is very unique. And yeah, I don't know. Splatter, great title. Just this is one I like. It's just so bad it's good and just a really fun time. All right, next up we have Satan's Blade. Um, this is well, first off, this is a cool Blu-ray release slasher video. It's from Olive, yeah, it's from like Olive. I don't know if this is at a print or not. There is an Arrow version of this. This is another lower budget film. I liked this. I liked that this was pretty good. It's not the perfect film. There's definitely some issues with this film. But again, it's a lower budget. It feels lower budget. Not as low budget as Splatter University, but it's maybe a tier above that. But yeah, there's definitely some issues with this film. But I liked it. This is definitely a fun one to check out. So yeah, Satan's Blade. All right, next up we have The Mutilator. Um, First off, maybe the best cover art in all of 80s horror, 80s slasher films. Like this just is fantastic. So Arrow, good job. Good Blu-ray package. Tons of special features. I like the Mutilator. Again, this is a fun one, very mean-spirited. Lower budget. Has some funny moments in it, like you kind of laugh, some silly. But the kills are pretty good. There's, like I said, there's a kill with this hook that's used on a female in a very sensitive area, which is very brutal, very mean-spirited. There's a decapitation in this. This is just kind of a fun one. Um, yeah, this is just your typical mid-80s hack and slash. It's I don't know, I like this one quite a bit. Alright, next up. We have Rocktober Blood. This is like your rock and roll slasher. Pretty good. This is a pretty good one. I don't know if we're ever gonna. There's like a whole bunch of back production directors, producers fighting over the rights. I don't know if we're ever gonna get a proper release of this one day. Um, but yeah, this is fun, man. The plot isn't great. The plot is the weakest part, but there's some fun kills. There's really good music. If you're a fan of like 80s hair metal, glam rock, um, that plays a part in this. That's kind of the setting. You're following around like an 80s rock and roll band, and there's just a killer on the loose making kills, and it's got like all the nudity. It's got some pretty good kills, really cool setting, awesome music. This is fun, man. This is just a fun. No one's gonna say it's gonna win any awards for being a good film, but it's a fun 80s slasher, and it's definitely one you should check out, especially if you're a music fan. It's pretty good. All right, next up we have Silent Madness in 3D. Um, yeah, this is one of two 80s slashers that had a 3D release. This and Friday the 13th Part 3. And because of that, I really like this film. But without the 3D, this is a serviceable 80s slasher. It's nothing fancy. There's no great standout moments, but it's fine. It follows the formula. It's pretty good. But then when you throw in the 3D works really well. Some of the kills were designed for 3D, and I watch it with the anaglyph, like the red and blue anaglyph glasses. And even with that, it works really well. But you can also watch this version. This is from Vinegar Syndrome. You can also watch this if you have like an actual 3D TV and a 3D Blu-ray player with like the polarized. Apparently, I bet you that's even so much better. So I'm on the hunt for that equipment. If I can ever find it, I'm gonna definitely rewatch this in proper 3D. But the anaglyph is fun, man. There's good depth perception, and the pop out effects are fun. So, like I said, it's a pretty decent slasher. Mid-tier 80s slasher. It's fun. So definitely one you should pick up. This package is amazing from Vinegar Syndrome. Really good. All right, next up, still in 1984, we have Silent Night, Deadly Night, the film that almost took down the entire 80s slasher genre. If you're not familiar, I made a whole series, the year in slashers, and this caused quite a backlash upon its release. Protests, mothers, church groups, everyone out in the streets at movie theaters and malls protesting, made the newspaper, got pulled from the shelf, all because they were showing trailers around Christmas time of a Santa Claus killing people, and kids were watching it and freaking out. So, yeah, kind of put a thud on the whole slasher genre for about a year or so. But anyway, that's a whole thing. This is the best Christmas slasher ever, in my opinion. Especially in the 80s. You want to go back to Black Christmas, whatever, you can get into that. But of all the 80s slashers, Silent Night, Deadly Night, the first film, amazing. This is from Scream Factory. Just an amazing package. Yeah, this is watch this every Christmas. This is like a Christmas film, but it's a 80s slasher. It's great. Um, if you've never checked it out, definitely watch it this Christmas. It's a good Christmas film. It has a good Christmas vibe, and it has tons of kills, tons of nudity, a fun Christmas vibe setting. It's fantastic. Absolutely love Silent Night, Deadly Night. All right, the next film that was released from 1984, the last film that I have from 1984 is the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, as you can see, this is the only thing I have for the Nightmare on Elm Street. I actually have the complete Blu-ray collection. It goes up to New Nightmare. So, as we get through 86, 87, 88, 89, I'm not going to talk about the Nightmare films. They're all here, so this is my set. If you've been following the channel, I'm not the biggest fan of this franchise. It's just not for me. But I like a few films. Parts 1 and 3 I like, and parts 2 is different but has its moments. But yeah, this is all I'll ever have. I'm not gonna rebuy these in 4K. If I ever see them on VHS, unless they're 99 cents for the original VHS, I probably won't buy them. I'm content with this because I don't watch these films a ton, to be perfectly honest. But I have them. They're in my collection. So yeah, in terms of 80s slashers, part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 films in the 80s, starting in 84. So, and then you also get part 6, which is just atrocious. And New Nightmare was all right. I liked New Nightmare. That was in the 90s as well. So anyway, that's my Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray collection. Let's move on to 1985. So now, 1985, I think I have a total of like 6 80 slashers that were released. Not a lot. I have, what, 1, 2, 3, I have 3 or 4 of them. Yeah, so Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. I guess this is a controversial film. I love this film. This film has a lot of fans. It has a lot of people who dislike it. I'm not going to get into that. I talked about that in an earlier video, most underrated 80 slashers. This made the cut. But yeah, I absolutely love this. The only other version I have of this, which is really odd, is I have a Betamax of this, which is awesome. I love having this. I don't have the box. This came, I bought like a little lot at like a Value Village, like a thrift store, of Betamax tapes, probably like 10, and this came in like a Star Trek The Voyage Home, and that's what I thought it was. And when I got it home and I was checking the quality, and I pulled this out, and I'm like, oh, look at this! I got, instead of Star Trek The Voyage Home, I get Friday the 13th Part 5. So super happy to have this. I don't have a Betamax player, so I can't play it. They're pretty pricey. If I ever come across one at a thrift store somewhere for, 5, 10, 20 bucks, if it works, if I can, I'll probably buy it, because I wouldn't mind having a Betamax player. But yeah, that's my Friday the 13th Part 5 versions. And again, this, I made this. This is from this set, hoping for a 4K release for, all 8 of the Paramount films from the Friday franchise. So, all right, next up, also from 1985, recent pickup. I made a video on this recently. Blood Cult. Again, very low budget, straight to video, like shot on video kind of thing. Cheesy, so bad it's good type of film. Mix it with your, put it in the same group as your Don't Go in the Woods, in your Splatter University, that kind of Sledgehammer, all these like straight to video type crappy things. I've never seen it. I have to watch this soon. Maybe this will be my next review. We'll see. This is apparently its sequel, and this is from 1986. So I don't know if it's, a 80s slasher. I heard somewhere it's not, it's more of a thriller, and it's not really a slasher. I don't know. I haven't seen either one. So, but yeah, I just picked this up for I think it was $1.99, brand new at like a record store. So pretty cool. The last one I have from 1985, I have on DVD as well, Blood Tracks. This is a Swedish slasher. Again, it's a like Rocktober Blood. It's, kind of like a rock and roll slasher. Fun. Um, this DVD is terrible. There's a review on my channel of this, and like the audio track is out of sync. The video quality is poor, and apparently this is the cut version. Like half of the kills and half of the nudity are cut out, and I didn't know it watching it. And I reviewed it, and then I looked up later. I watched some other cuts online, and terrible. I need a new version of this. I really hope this gets a Blu-ray release, an uncut, because I think this would be a lot better film, but I did not have a good experience with this DVD. So I definitely need to revisit this on a better version someday. But there's some stuff here, like I said, like the music, and like some of the kills are fun. There's a decent amount of nudity. It's like this Swedish vibe up in the mountains setting. It's cool. So I think this is better than the experience I had with it. I'll have to check it out again. All right. Next up, we have Gun Massacre. Again, added to the list of Don't Go in the Woods, Splatter University, Blood Cult. Super low budget, super cheesy, so bad it's good. But this one is a lot of fun for me. It's over the top, silly. The killer walking around with like a nail gun and killing people. The scenes of people having sex in the woods, they're naked, and the killer attacks them and like puts nails in their naked bodies. It's ridiculous. It's over the top. Um, but it's fun. Definitely one to sit down with some drinks with some buddies and just laugh, laugh, laugh. It's really fun. So it's one of those type of slashers. But I like it. This is really enjoyable for me. Alright, up next, now we're into 1986, we have Chopping Mall. Um, yeah, this is just a fun, you know, feels like a super 80s, horror film. Slasher. It's a slasher, but it's robots. It's not people, so it's kind of like on the fence of like a true 80s slasher, but it is. It's like the slasher format, just robots, I guess. And it's like a supernatural thing, kind of. This is the Vestron video. Yeah, this takes place in a mall, obviously, and it's great. It's like the biggest star of the show is the shopping mall. It's great. I love horror films in 80s malls. It's this is just a shot of nostalgia. Yeah, absolutely love shopping mall. It's great. All right, next one up we have April Fool's Day. I just talked about this one on my most overrated video. Um, I don't want to crap on this film too much. People love this film, and I like this film. I just hate the ending. I don't like the ending of the film. I felt like it limited what they could do creatively throughout the film, like in terms of the kills and whatnot. So it is what it is. Great cast, looks good, good Blu-ray release from Scream Factory. Um, yeah, I like a lot from this film. I just don't like the ending and what it. Anyway, whatever. I've talked about this a lot. Love the original cover. One of the most iconic from my childhood. Um, I just this is one I saw all the time in video stores growing up, and I love it for that. It's so nostalgic. So April Fool's Day. Also, 1986, we have Bloodhook. This is like a trauma film. This is released by Vinegar Syndrome, but yeah, you can see here this is like a trauma film. I didn't like this, which is too bad because it has some funny humor. It's silly, ridiculous. It's something right up my alley, but I felt like this film was a little broken because of the plot, because the characters were doing stuff that were just so unrealistic that it took me right out, and it just kind of ruined the experience for me. I don't know. That's something like I can handle a lot of silliness in these types of films, but when there's plot points that just completely don't make sense, characters doing stuff that it's just like completely unbelievable, I don't know, it just takes me out of it. And this film is filled with that. I reviewed this. If you want specific examples, you can go back and watch the review on the channel. But yeah, too bad. But there's some fun stuff. It's silly, like just the fact if a killer is on the loose with like a big giant fishing lure. It's pretty ridiculous. But there's some fun things in here. But yeah, it's kind of broken for me. All right, still in 1986, we have Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I like this film a lot. A lot of people like this film. Some people don't like it. This is the film where, well, first off, zombie Jason. This is his return from his death in Part 4. And yeah, so some people don't like that. And then there's the humor. This film has a lot of intentional humor, which doesn't really work, to be honest. But I don't really care. It's not throughout. There's just little bits sprinkled in, which is fine. There's a couple of things like the paintball scene with the smiley face on the tree, which is stupid, and like the more I watch it now, it does drive me more crazy. But there's just too much about this film that I absolutely love. Um, yeah, Jason Lives is great. Again, I created this case. It's my own doing. This is from this set. Hopefully, we'll get a 4K someday. So yeah, Friday the 13th, Part 6. Alright, so a couple more for 1986. Up next we have Slaughterhouse. Now this is one I put in my underrated category because, again, people don't like this film because of the ending, similar to April Fool's Day. Whereas this one, I don't mind the ending. Again, this is all subjective, it's all what we like and what we dislike, but the ending doesn't bother me in this one because it didn't affect the rest of the film earlier, and the rest of the film had amazing kills, and they could get away with it because the way that they chose the end the film didn't, kind of make them make the kills with one hand tied behind their back like they did for April Fool's Day. So um, I like the school setting. I think Marty is a good killer with like the jester mask or whatever it is. I don't mind the ending. The ending's fine for me, but this has some really unique um, creative kills, super violent, lots of nudity, some good chase sequences, good setting. Like there's a lot I like in this film. You know, it's a lower budget one. It doesn't feel, um, it's not like a great film. None of these films are great films. Come on, let's be honest. It's what you enjoy, and this is something that I enjoy. So I should review that. It's been a while since I've watched this. I feel like this is one that I would like to review soon, maybe. It's been too long. All right, next up. Still in 1986. This is the last one I have from 1986, and it's Dreamaniac. I have not seen this yet. I've had this for a while on DVD, cheap little DVD I bought. Um, yeah, I don't know. I had to see this again. I hear this is one of the worst 80s slashers ever made. Apparently, you watch this and it's just a piece of crap. Apparently, um, I don't know. We'll see. This stars Kim Makami, who, if you don't know, is actually the the legitimate stage name for Ashlyn Gear, who had a huge career in the 90s in the adult film business. She was in this, and she was in another 80s slasher called Evil Laugh, which I don't have a physical copy of. But yeah, she did two 80s slashers, and she was really good. I liked her in Evil Laugh. And yeah, I guess she's in this, and so we'll see how she is in this. But yeah, Ashlyn Gear, as if you're familiar with her work from the adult film business from the 90s, maybe there's more, you get more out of this than some. So yeah, I don't really know much about this. All right, so let's move on to 1987. All right, so first up, from 1987, we have Blood Harvest. This is a Vinegar Syndrome release. Um, this is the weird film that has Tiny Tim. If you're familiar with Tiny Tim, dressed up as a clown, tiptoe through the tulips with his little mandolin or ukulele. Um, Very strange, and like he matches this film because this is a weird film. It's this is like I was surprised by this. I ended up really liking this because it's like super sleazy. I had no idea that it was going to be like a sleazy film and creepy. And yeah, this film's a little rapey at times. There's I think two, even though three scenes that are like you're basically witnessing kind of like the killer kind of doing some date raping stuff or like drugging women or like yeah, so it's a little off-putting and it's a little hard to watch, but there's like a sleaziness to it. Anyway, it's I kind of like this film. I don't know. Like I say, it's a lower budget. It's nothing fancy. The kills were pretty good. They were mostly just all throat slits. But they were pretty good. There was some really strong, long scenes of nudity. Like I said, it was really sleazy, very gratuitous. Like the killing, the violence mixed with the sex. Um, I don't know. I kind of liked this. So yeah, Blood Harvest. All right, up next we have Return to Horror High. This is one I just recently reviewed on the channel. This is like a horror comedy slasher. It's an 80s slasher for sure, but it's in the horror genre. It's kind of making light. It's I don't even know if it's parodying it. It's more just kind of making light of the 80s slasher genre, but it's not like you're kind of laughing with it. You're not laughing at the genre, if that makes sense. Anyway, the comedy works really good. It's a little subtle, a little slapstick, but it's fun. There's some really good stuff. There's a lot of twists at the end, which again is part of the funny that they keep like pulling the rug out. This is how it ends. Nah, this is how it ends. It's fun. I liked this. This was a lot of fun. So not your typical 80s slasher by any means, but pretty cool. So yeah, Return to Horror High. All right. Still in 1987, we have the Majorettes. Um, yeah, this is a cool cover art, cool title. This is a weird one. It starts off as as an 80s slasher, like a killer's on the loose, and there's like, like a majorette, like a troop of like girls, like spinning the batons, and they start getting. It's kind of like a school setting, and they start getting killed off. Typical formulaic 80s slasher. But then like halfway through the film it turns into like for like 20 minutes it's like a Rambo movie. Like it's like an 80s action adventure. Guys running around the woods shirtless with like automatic rifles. It's bombs exploding. It turns into like a Rambo flick for a bit. And it goes back to the 80s slasher. Really strange combination, but it's fun. It's good. It's definitely a unique, we're getting into like the a different vibe of the 80s slashers. Like these are definitely have the late 80s slasher feel to them. 84, 85, they had traces of like the early 80s slashers. Now we're getting into a whole different thing and they have a different feeling. The like, big hair, like the languages did like they feel really 80s. So anyway, um so this is a good example of that. The next film is even a better example of the cheesy 80s feeling, and that is Killer Workout. Um, yeah, this is I really like this one. It takes place in a fitness gym, aerobic studio, that kind of thing. There's like the saunas and the hot tubs and the locker rooms and the weight rooms and the rooms with like the mirrored walls. Fantastic setting. Funny kills. Um, and yeah, super super cheesy 80s, over the top 80s, like the big hair and like it's fun. There's some random like there's a kung fu fight in this, which is just like ridiculous and super fun. The twist reveal is really good, creepy. Like it has like a creepy makes your hair stand up kind of reveal. I really like Killer Workout, also known as Aerobicide, which is also a cool title. So yeah, this is a good one. The one I definitely like. These late 80s films, they're different, but I like them. They have a different feel to them, I don't think they get enough love just because they don't feel like The Prowler and the early Friday the 13th and that sort of thing, but they're fun in their own right. All right, up next, still 87, Blood Rage. This is a good one. This is a yeah, this is like a twins. There's twin brothers, and one is crazy. When they're kids, he kills a couple people at like a drive-in theater, and then he like blames it on his twin brother. And the good twin gets taken away to like a psychiatric hospital, while the bad twin remains out. And then when the good twin finally gets released, he's like no one believes him, and he's all messed up because he spent like 10 years in a psychiatric hospital for kids, and so he gets out, and then the bad brother starts killing again to frame him. It's a whole thing. The mother is nuts in this. They have a mother who's like really good. The kills are fantastic. Such good kills, practical effects. Yeah, Blood Rage is awesome. It's like a Thanksgiving kind of slasher. So if you haven't seen this one, definitely check it out. This is a good one. This is fun. All right, up next we have Ber- Berserker. Um, This one's alright. This was I reviewed this on the channel and it's okay. It's kind of weird. It has a supernatural thing that like a Viking berserker like myths, and then there's like bears attacking people. The kills are pretty tame. They don't look like they would be enough to kill people. But something about it was enjoyable. It has a fun setting, like up in the deep woods. It looks really good. There's like a lot of like smoke and like atmosphere, fog, walking in the woods at night. It looks cool. So there's some good things with this film, but the kills are not great, unfortunately for me, and I don't like the whole supernatural bear people and myth. It's kind of stupid, but there's some stuff to enjoy. All right, up next, still in 1987, we have American Gothic. Had this one on DVD. This is a good one. This is a fun one. This is a weird family, really creepy, off-putting, and a group of friends get stranded. They have plane crashes and they get stranded on this island with this crazy family, ma, pa. They have a couple kids, two sons and a daughter, and they're all crazy. And people start getting killed, and there's a big twist at the end because there's other people who are suffering from mental health as well, and it's yeah, it's unique. It's like this. This is the daughter. She's like in her 30s or 40s, and she's acting like a 10-year-old. Really, really creepy, weird stuff going on in this film. Yeah, American Gothic's fun. I really like that one. Alright, up next we have Stage Fright. This is one of my favorites. This is like half giallo, half slasher. It's Italian. Um, yeah, it takes place at like a stage, like a Broadway play. People rehearsing for like a live theater type setting, and they're kind of trapped in this stage overnight, and there's a killer on the loose, and they're just killing people one by one. The kills are really, this is like a stylistic film, like everything, like the clothing, the hairstyles. It's got that 80s, like European 80s fashion sense to it, and the kills, the way like um, yeah, just the way the kills are filmed, and just like the whole film, just like the cinematography, it's just beautiful. It's just a really good film to look at. The story is, very giallo-esque, and the killer is wearing this crazy feather. It doesn't say on, it doesn't show it on here. Yeah, the killer's wearing this crazy owl mask, helmet, whatever, which is really unique and different. But it's beautiful. This is a beautiful film. But it's violent. It has everything you want. But it's that giallo slasher mix, which is, awesome. So yeah, this is one of my favorites. Love it. Um, yeah, it's really good. All right, last one I have from 1987. We have Slaughterhouse. Um, this is a Vinegar Syndrome release. Um, this one's okay. There's nothing great about this. I don't really have much to say. It's your run-of-the-mill late 80s slasher. I like the town in this one. Like, this takes place just like a little small town, farmhouses on the outskirts. It's just something about it just feels cozy to me. That's the biggest thing I can always say when I think about this film, is just the feeling, the atmosphere, the vibe of like the characters living in this little town. The kills are okay. It has all the stuff that you'd expect from, a late 80s slasher, but yeah, it's okay. I don't have too much to say. All right, next up, now in 1988 we have Rush Week. Um, this is an interesting film. I liked this. I said this one is like three parts. This is like one part 80s slasher, one part like Animal House, frat teen sex frat comedy, and then it's like Nancy Drew mystery kind of thing. Um, it's a weird mix, but it works really well. The kills are pretty good. They're not the greatest kills. There's some pretty good nudity in this. The plot is good. It's pretty funny. Like I said, that Animal House thing kind of keeps it fun, and it kind of moves along at a good pace. Yeah, Rush Week was okay. It's not a great film. It definitely, this, like, we're getting into like, it really feels like the late 80s. So yeah, Rush Week's all right. All right, now we have Sleepaway Camp 2, which, yeah, this is a classic. This is a classic. If you haven't seen Sleepaway Camp 2, definitely check it out. This is like your black comedy style of 80s slasher. Um, it's just, yeah, it's quite different from the original film. Pamela Springsteen, who is, Bruce Springsteen's sister, does an amazing job playing Angela. And like the kills are so creative and unique and violent and mean-spirited. There's a lot of good humor, that all the humor works. Um, these films are great. I absolutely love this. There's nothing quite like them. They're very unique. All right, 1988 still, we have Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. This, of course, is from this set. Um, Yeah, of all the Friday the 13th 80s slashers films, this is my least favorite. I like this better than Jason Goes to Hell and, some of the later ones there. But of the eight, like the Paramount films, this is by far my least favorite. This is the only one I don't really like. I don't, this, it's Carrie versus Jason. There's a lot of weird plot points that just don't work for me. It's film's pretty heavily edited from the censor. There's just a lot going on. But I just don't like the Carrie versus Jason aspect. It's just stupid. They didn't need to do it. I don't know. Like again, thanks to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise with like Freddy and the supernatural stuff, this stuff was always getting injected into these late 80s films. It wasn't needed for me. So, um, yeah, there's just stuff like this. I just like, that's Jason. I, I don't know. I whatever. this has some good kills. There's some good stuff in here. Don't, like, it's still a Friday. It feels like a Friday film. It has the look. It has the tone. I can still watch this. It's my least favorite by far in the franchise, in the '80s franchise. All right. Next up, we have Edge of the Axe. This is like a Spanish kind of co-production with the States-ish kind of thing. But yeah, it feels like it has like that European vibe to it. I like this one. This is good. This is great cover art. The killer is fantastic. The mask is really unique and crazy. Most of the kills, like I said, are done with an axe, and they're pretty visceral. You see like the axe, like you see women just getting like chopped with an axe, and you get to see it. It's pretty brutal. The reveal works pretty good. We've seen it before, but it's kind of a twist reveal. It's pretty good. So yeah, I like this one. It's pretty good. Up next, we have Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Um, yeah, this is a good Halloween film. It's like I'm not crazy with the franchise. It has almost more misses than hits for me, but this is a good one. This feels like Halloween. It feels like the streets are lined with like the fallen leaves and there's pumpkins on every doorstep in the '80s. It feels good. And it's, it's a solid slasher. There's nothing I can complain about except for this is kind of like it's dropping the seeds for the next couple films that I didn't really like so much. But at this point, it's still just a regular standalone Halloween film for me, and it works. It's pretty good, So yeah, Halloween 4. Yeah, I like this one. Up next, we have The Undertaker, starring Joe Spinell from Maniac fame. I haven't seen this yet. I've had this Blu-ray for a long time. It's sitting on my shelf waiting to be reviewed. I keep watching and reviewing other things on this channel. This one keeps getting skipped over, so I don't know. I have to watch it sometime. Joe Spinell's awesome, so anything I've ever seen him in, he's been really good, so yeah, it looks cool. So I don't know. Oh, this is the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. Yeah, I'll have to check it out, so I'm not sure. Alright, up next we have Hide and Go Shriek. Yeah, this is a fun one. Nothing great. The star of the show is the setting. It takes place in like a department store. A bunch of kids get locked in overnight. And there's a killer, and you know, they're running around a department store overnight. There's like living room sections, there's bedroom sections, there's like the loading freight elevators and the display rooms in the front of the store. It's cool. It has a cool setting. The kills are pretty good. There's a decapitation in here, which is really cool. It's an elevator thing, which is awesome. Definitely the highlight kill. There's some good nudity in this film, and the reveal twist at the end is kind of weird. It's kind of a strange, again, one of those ones. It's just kind of a creepy, strange reveal. I don't know. I like Hide and Go Shriek. It works pretty well for me. All right. Up next, Child's Play. Um, yeah, like this is it's Child's Play. It's this isn't my favorite. Like they're fine. I like this as a kid quite a bit. It's not one I go back to now. This whole franchise of the Chucky franchise. It's just not for me. I don't really like the talking doll aspect. Like I said, as a kid, this freaked me out. It worked really well at that time. Just for me, it just hasn't aged well. But this is a beautiful film. It's well made. It's well written, well directed, well acted. Like you can't take anything away from it. It's just I prefer my '80s slashers more formulaic, and this is kind of its own thing. So it's again playing off Freddy, the humor, the wisecracking, supernatural stuff, which is fine. It's some people love this, and I can't blame people for loving it because it's a famous, popular film for good reason. It's really well made. Like I said, it's just not so much to my tastes, but not a bad film. Just not one I go back to very often. All right. So, yeah, we're into 1989 now, and we have Intruder up next, and this is one of my favorite '80s slashers of all time, and it's from 1989. Grocery store setting. Again, group of workers, young adults, trapped in a grocery store, an '80s grocery store filled with '80s cereal boxes, '80s chocolate bar covers, wrappers, all that stuff. It's just fantastic. So the setting is just like one of the best in the whole genre, and then the kills are some of the best kills, if not the best kills, in the whole genre. Like I know This and The Prowler are probably my two favorite films for practical, or yeah, practical effect kills. Um, these kills are unbelievable. There's a lot to like about this film. I love Intruder. It's definitely underrated. If you've never seen this film, seek it out, watch it. It's great. The people involved with making this were in the circle of the Evil Dead films. Like Bruce Campbell and the Raimi brothers, Ted and Sam Raimi. They're all of them are in this film, in some way. So yeah, the director was friends with Sam Raimi on his films and worked. It's that circle. So that humor, there's a little bit of that humor in here, but the kills and the setting are just is off the chart. Love Intruder. Definitely check it out. Up next, we have Cutting Class, an early Brad Pitt film. I liked this film. There's some fun stuff in this. The kills are pretty fun. There's some creepiness. The plot is pretty good. There's some good chase sequences. The school setting is fun. Seeing young Brad Pitt is fun. So there's lots to like. The humor in this film I did not like. It was not needed. Like, it was really slapsticky. It really took me out of it. So I didn't love this film because the humor kind of wrecked it for me. But other than that, it's a fine, typical late 80s slasher. So yeah, not bad. All right, up next we have Offerings. I haven't seen this yet. This is another one that's been sitting on my shelf for a really long time. Keeps getting skipped over to watch and review something else on the channel. I hear this is kind of like a Halloween ripoff, and I hear that people don't like this as much. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to check this out. This is like, was it Dark Force Entertainment? Yeah, Dark Force Entertainment. Um, they don't have a lot, but they have a couple Blu-ray releases, within this genre. So anyway, Offerings. I don't know. Definitely have to check it out. Another one I have not seen is Slashdance. This is like the big clamshell VHS. Uh, I got this for Christmas a couple years back. So I don't know. This looks super cheesy. Um, you know, dancing like Flashdance, obviously. Slashdance. It's obviously a play on that. So I don't know if this is good. I don't know anything about this, to be honest with you. But I have it, and I need to watch it and review it sometime. 1989, yeah. 83 minutes. I think I'm going to like it, but we'll see. Alright, we're getting down there. Only a few more left. So up next we have Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Blu-ray, of course, from this set. And I had the VHS tape. I like this film. This film gets a lot of crap. I don't think it deserves as much as it gets. There's the ending of this is not good. I don't like the ending. Too much at all down the sewers. It's stupid. They could have maybe found a better way to end it. But other than that, I like this film. It feels like a Friday film. People complain that it's like takes Manhattan. It's only in Manhattan for the last 15-20 minutes. But the first part that takes place on like the boat, the cruise ship, is awesome. I love it. It's a great setting. We've never seen an 80s slasher on like a cruise ship like this before, and it's fantastic. It's so many good locations for Jason to be hunting and tracking down his kills. So I like this film quite a bit. It doesn't rank up there with parts 1 through 5, but it's better than part 7 in my opinion, and it's up there with part 6. That's my thoughts. So I like this film, but I get why people don't like it because the ending is pretty bad. So cool cover, I thought. It's so iconic. Like, this is, yeah, really like it. All right, up next, obviously we're 1989 at this point. Sleepaway Camp 3. Everything I said for Sleepaway Camp 2 applies for this. I feel like they're like almost one big long film. They're just released like directly a year apart from each other. I think they were filmed back to back and just cut in the middle and like released kind of thing. Um, yeah, it's just these are so fun. Like dark humor, mean-spirited kills that are unique and creative. Like just um, really good. You get some nudity thrown in here. Some really good. Pamela Springsteen once again as Angela is great. I love parts 2 and part 3. They're very unique, and I really like them. So yeah, they're great. Alright, up next we have Nightmare Beach. Again, this is like an Italian, um, American kind of feel. Definitely has that Italian European feel, but but it definitely has the American actors, so it's a good hybrid. This film is basically one part 80s slasher, one part 80s teen sex comedy, a la, Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's, Spring Break, Private Resort, those 80s movies, because this basically takes place at spring break on the beach. And, like, it looks like, I don't know where it is, Florida or something like that. And it's like, yeah, like, March break, spring break. Everyone's partying, girls are taking their clothes off, everyone's drinking, but then there's a killer on the loose killing them. So it's an 80s slasher set in that world, and it works really well. Has that European feel to it, but then, John Saxon, Michael Parks, two incredible American actors. I think they both passed away recently, last few years, which is too bad. Yeah, this is great. This is good. Some fun kills, like cheesy like kills by motorcycle, like electrocution. Good reveal, like has that giallo, slow mystery reveal twist at the end. Yeah, this is good. I really like Nightmare Beach. It's definitely underrated. Fantastic setting. All right, we're getting down to it. There's three left I have. So Memorial Valley Massacre. This is, I don't know. This was a weird one for me. There's some charm to this, and I like the setting, the outdoor camping. Some of the kills are pretty fun. Like, it takes place at like a campground. But then the killer is like a cartoon character almost. He has this crazy teeth. He's like Mowgli from like the Jungle Book, running around killing people. His motivation is not great. Yeah, this is a hit and miss one for me. Like, there's some fun things. It's fun. It has that late 80s fun factor, It's just kind of fun to watch it, but yeah, I wish the killer was scary or like had like a proper motivation for doing what he's doing, but it was just kind of silly and stupid. But there's some fun stuff in here, so I don't know, I can't really say much more. All right, two more left. Released in 1989 and in the 80s. Next up, we have Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers. Um, I'm not a big fan of this one. This is where the franchise kind of lost me. I liked, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this one it's getting too weird. Is the supernatural stuff's coming in. They're starting to put all these plot points. This film's just kind of a mess for me. Um, and I know some people like it. Some people agree with me and think it's crap. Stupid mask. Yeah, this one just has a weird feel, and it starts going down a rabbit hole. Part 6 I really didn't like. I liked it even less than this one. But like, some of the seeds of part 6 were planted here, and they had to, like, how do we continue on from the franchise? And they did what they did in part 6, and just that one didn't work. And I blame this for that. I don't know. But there's some cool stuff. Jamie Lloyd, like little Danielle Harris, she's good. She's fun to watch. I wish they would have done something different with her character, but it is what it is. All right, so the last film in my 80s slasher collection, I believe this next one was released in December, like mid-December 1989. So it's one of the last 80s slashers ever released. Um, the actual there's two films actually. This, and I don't have it. Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. This and that were released on the same day. So those are the two last 80s slashers ever made, and according to myself. Anyway, Despot, fun. This is just your typical late 80s. Got the big hair, the cheesiness. It takes place again like killer workout, like a spa, like a gym. People working out, exercise bikes. Really fun, super cheesy. It's got Ken Foray from Dawn of the Dead. The kills in this are fun, cheesy. Supernatural, there's like a ghost thing, which I don't like, but for whatever reason, it didn't bother me as much with this one, just because it's maybe just the over-the-top cheesiness of the 80s is really fun in this. But yeah, I like that spa. Just it's fun. It's cool setting, some fun kills, some cheesy stuff going on. So yeah, that is it. That is my entire 80s slashers physical media collection. So hopefully, this is another long video, but so hopefully you guys stuck around for part one and for part two. Yeah, that's basically it. So I don't know. I'll probably do another one of these maybe in another year or two, and I keep buying these films, and the collection keeps growing. So yeah, I don't know. All right, that's it. So yeah, until next time. All right, see ya.